This tutorial is intended for players who feel a little overwhelmed by Mario Golf Super Rush's options, HUD, and gameplay, feeling like they don't have enough control over what's going on. I'll be going over from the very basics, like the concepts shown in the tutorial, to more advanced techniques, like changing the ball's drift after shooting it. Our overview will begin with what each button does and move on from there. Pressing A fills up the thing on the right called the shot gauge. That determines how far your shot will go, and at the tippy top you'll see two red triangles. That determines how far the deviation can go. On every shot there's a little bit of deviation, however if you shoot with that much force, it has a possibility of going over the maximum deviation that is normally applied. Your next button press comes in once you figure out exactly where you want your shot's power to lie. Pressing A will have you do a standard shot. Pressing A twice will have you do a topspin, which makes the ball roll a bit further after you hit it. Pressing B will do a backspin, which has it move back a little bit, and pressing B twice will have you do a super backspin. This allows you to heavily influence how far your ball will roll after it lands. Super backspin especially is very useful for approaching the green from a distance, as it prevents your ball from really going anywhere or going off the green from too much force. I love using the super backspin, it's my favorite one. Returning to shooting preparation, if you press L before pressing the A button to initially start up the shooting gauge, you'll do a special shot instead. Special shots depend on the character, but they can hit enemy balls out of the way, or mess up their putting, or mess up their shooting. Alongside those benefits, they head straight to where you shot it to. It seems that curvature, distance, weather, etc. doesn't really affect the shot itself, at least in my experience. The only thing that can really stop a special shot is something physically being in the way. To balance out their awesome power, they don't roll very much after they land. You also cannot influence their roll after you shoot. Like every other shot, all you can do is aim, which is done with the left analog stick. In modes with multiple flags available, you can also use the right analog stick to flick between different flags. That only applies to Battle Golf and one level in the Golf Adventure. Golf Adventure also gives you a lot of clubs, but they don't really matter. The one clubs that do matter are the ones given to you whenever you play the actual game modes. The notation on the right of the screen has different letters and numbers. W for wood, I for iron, and H for hybrid. These are your three main clubs. They shoot the ball forward at varying distances and angles. Then there's W for wedges. These are mostly used to get your ball over obstacles that are immediately in front of it or get you out of sand traps. Before you shoot with them, if you hit Y, you'll do half a shot if you don't want to shoot as far and as forceful as you possibly could and want greater accuracy over where your ball is going to land. P is for putter. They're used at the very end of a hole to push the ball into the hole. Why are they all called holes? Again, pressing Y on this will change how far you can put with it. That being said, don't use it in the rough because it will slow the ball down because it has no vertical height at all. It just rolls it across the ground. The last thing to discuss before this is over is spin, or shaping the shot. After confirming how powerful you want your shot to be, if you move the left analog stick, you'll be able to influence which way the shot goes. Pressing left and right will make a curve left or right. Shooting downward affects the ball's height, which makes wind affect it less and makes the velocity of the initial hit last a bit longer because it's not going as high, while shooting up does the opposite. It makes it go higher, keeping it in the air for longer, but making it lose speed over time. Take note of the wind, terrain, and shot before you spin your shot, because it can have a lot of influence on the ball. Also, the higher your spin stat goes, the more influence it will have on your ball, and eventually you'll be given multiple sections, allowing you to spin the ball multiple times. It looks really weird, but I guess it's possible to do that for some real golfers. I don't know. But look at the ball keeps double jumping in the air. If you keep doing up, it's kind of funny to look at. Anywho, thanks for watching this little mechanic guide. I hope I helped you understand the golf game a little better than the game teaches you how to play. I do also recommend going through the Golf Adventure because I didn't explain things like putting and how the grid on the bottom of the floor symbolizes what you need to be aware of with the hill and the curvature of the ground. But I believe you'll be able to figure it out after the tutorial and using this one to help you a little bit further. I'm Blue and I'll see you later. Peace.